You guys are always asking me about USA made sharpening systems. Well, Wicked Edge is today's video sponsor, and they just dropped their newest and most affordable sharpening system yet. For under $200, the WE40 has 2 sets of diamond plates, and it allows you to work on both sides of the knife at the exact same time, which is really awesome and completely unique to Wicked Edge. If you want to check out more about the WE40, their newest and most affordable sharpening system, check out the link down in the description. Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we are checking out 5 different companies' best knife of the year. So I'm going to pick my #1 favorite knife of 2024 from 5 different companies. Starting it off, I'm going to show you guys the first 3 we're going to go through. It was a lot harder for me to choose, so I'm going to pull up a couple of the options that I had that was making it difficult for me. Just so you can see, some other knives that could have possibly won as well. We have the BESTECH Pridewin, we have the BESTECH Bruv, and then the BESTECH Razan. All 3 of these are absolutely amazing. The Bruv, the smallest one on the list, is still a full-size knife. Love the sheep's foot blade, M390 steel. This is a Gallivic design, titanium frame lock with one of the best pocket clips BESTECH has ever done. It's inset with flat screws and it has tons of spring, very smooth. The access to the lock bar is amazing. Very, very smooth on the drop. The front flipper is basically as good as it gets. I don't know if you can even make a better front flipper. It's so fidget friendly and easy to use. That's the thing. It's just easy. Like, it feels very natural. And then this handle makes it to where you can cut basically in any direction. So this is going to be an amazing EDC knife. And to me, it almost has a little bit of a gentlemanly vibe, which I do like as well. But yeah, so the Bruv. Then we have the Pridewin. The Pridewin, this thing has amazing action between the thumb disc and front flipper. This is a combo design. And now with and it's in magna cut steel. Sorry, M cut is their magna cut steel, titanium frame lock with a shred carbon fiber, or in fact, I think it's a shred carbon fiber with some color in it, inlay. Now, between the disc and the front flipper, both of them are equally as good. Typically, a knife has a deployment that is their primary, is a little bit better. No, this one, like, if you asked me, I couldn't tell you which one was better. The thumb disc lands in such a great spot. It has good texturing on it. It's very, very easy to use. And then the front flipper, even though it doesn't have the jimping right there on that little spot, which I'd like, it is extremely easy to use. BESTECH's done a really good job with their front flippers. Great access to the lock bar, very comfortable. The pocket clip works great. Combos clips typically do. I like that they put the cutout relief for the lock bar on the inside. And yeah, man, just an awesome, awesome EDC knife. And, the shape, it's a little narrow, but the shape of it does work to your benefit in EDC, cutting tasks. Next is the Razan. Now, the Razan is the most outstanding looking one, or the most outrageous looking one. It's definitely the one that's going to be not as eye appealing to a lot of people, and I would agree with that, to be honest. However, the build quality is like a 9 out of 10. I mean, this thing is just absolutely amazing. This is magna cut steel as well. Beautiful satin finish on this. I don't even know what to call this blade chip. I'm just going to call it a clip point, but look at how thin that tip is. Utility cuts are insane. It has this belly. You can cut down on a flat surface, and then because of the shape it has, you can trap materials when slicing, and you can actually start from the belly and move this way, or just trap it in that little area. The frame lock is titanium with a titanium mill pocket clip. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is another combo design. Clips, like I said, clips are really good. The thumb disc on this one is one of the best I've ever used. It's a large disc, if you can see. It has beautiful texturing, but then if you look, there's like a gap in between the blade and the edge right here, making it very proud, making it not even feel like a thumb disc. It feels more like a thumb stud in a way. Super easy to get to, and it lands in such a good spot. Great access to the lock bar, very, very smooth on the drop. And this one has a very solid feel to it. The ergos, I don't like how it tapers to super slim right there, but the shape of this one, it makes it work. It almost feels like it's naturally supposed to be that way. I do think this is a little bit of a self-defense / EDC knife, but between the three, I love all three of them. It's very difficult for me to choose, but I'm going with the Razan only because when I think about the little tiny microscopic details, this one feels a little bit more premium. It does have a little bit more of a solid feel to it than the other two, even though the other two are absolutely amazing. It's microscopic differences that I'm talking about here, but that's what it takes when you're talking about what, you know, your favorite one or the best. Honestly, I'm not even a fan of the look of this knife. I would prefer this one or this one as far as looks go, but as far as quality and just, you know, it being an awesome knife and, you know, all the details of what makes a super premium knife and the best knife, I'm going to say the Razan was their best knife of the year. They executed everything perfectly. But like I said, if you like these two styles, then go for it because it's very minuscule, the differences. Next is KUBEY knives. Now, KUBEY knives, also, I had a little trouble picking out my favorite because, you know, they came out with their KB line. Their KB line has been dropping some bangers at the end of 2024, making it very difficult to choose. So first off, the Momentum has been out for a while in a budget version, but because the premium version is so different with materials and everything, it's like a completely different knife, just, you know, obviously the same knife design, but you know, so I'm leaving it in because I think this one came out like 8 months ago, so still 2024. Anyways, let's go through them. So all of these models, like I said, these are would be my top 4 from KUBEY this year. This one is the Coas or something like that. I freaking love the reverse flick on this thing. It's small, it's compact, it's very slicey, needle-like. Utility cuts are amazing. The hole lands in such a good spot. Even if you're left-handed, it works very well. The clip doesn't reverse, but yeah, I've liked this model, or sorry, not this model, this design since it first came out in a budget version. Now this guy, the Vertigo, is pretty much a brand new model from KB Knives, because KB, by the way, is a separate line from KUBEY, but it is KUBEY. It's just like a more premium line of the KUBEY models. So they're, you know, doing obviously, you know, titanium frame locks, fat carbon fiber, you know, premium steels. This one's in S35VN, and this is a Carey design. I love Carey's designs. He's got great designs, and then this blade shape is a blade shape that I freaking love. It's like one of my favorite blade shapes. I love it. It's kind of a hybrid blade shape, which are typically my favorites. This has some of the best ergonomics for a small knife that you could ask for. I feel this little punch out right there, but doesn't bother me at all. My hand just wraps around it like a glove. And pinch grips, you know, basically every grip is going to be amazing. Great access to the lock bar. Great thumb stud deployment. The clip is pretty decent. You know, that was one thing. I had to go through some knives, and, you know, a lot of knives through this entire video, not saying just from KUBEY, got tossed out for that reason. Access to the lock bar on this one too, I should have said, very, very comfortable. No matter what, any knife that's going to be on this list is going to have great lock bar access and a few other factors. Now, this guy right here is one that has a very, very solid feel to it. This one is the KB259A, I believe. I forget the actual name of it. But M390 steel, titanium milled pocket clip and frame lock. Great access to the lock bar. Beautiful texturing on there. Super duper smooth. The thumb stud action is amazing, but then you still have the hole deployment for the reverse flick. So very satisfying action, and it feels like it's on washers, but it feels like it's on like the smooth Teflon washers, like a greased up Teflon. It's so smooth, but it is on bearing. So you're getting bearing action with this very tight, luxurious smoothness. Really like that. But the Momentum is one that I have done a lot of videos on. It's been, you know, one of my all-time favorite KUBEY models as a budget knife. I've given so many of these out. I think they are one of the best work knives you can get. So to put that into a premium version, I love these ergonomics. I love a harpoon drop point blade shape. The Manganis design in M390 steel. Beautiful micro milling across the handle. Love the texturing right here. Milled titanium pocket clip, and look at that lock bar cutout on the inside. Exactly how I like it. The clip works great. Phenomenal thumb stud and front flipping action. This has an incredible front flipper. You can basically flip it in any way, shape, and form. So all in all, out of all of these, I got to go with the Momentum. If I was going to go second and third, I'd probably, man, it's tough. That's tough. I'm just going to put all three of these in the same category. The Momentum is what's going to get it in my book. But like I said, man, these KBs are bangers. They're doing some great work, especially, and they come out with them right at the end of the year. I'm sure that was planned. Next is Artisan. Now, like I said, I have a few to choose through because this one was another difficult one. Now, I want to say that I do think that Artisan this year had some huge misses, I'll be honest. I think that they had so many opportunities to do insanely good knives. But many times over, there was little details that just, like, when I went through their entire box, because I thought there was a lot of great Artisans, but so many of them had such a striking problem that, you know, it was easy to throw out. It was like super easy, just get rid of it. Like lock bar access. So many of them, like this one, had poor lock bar access. Why wouldn't you? It's so tight right there. Why not cut that back a little bit? Now this one's actually okay, it works very well. So this, you know, obviously it's here on the list, but so many of them were like ridiculous. Then, you know, they were putting the stop pins, you know, right behind the edge bevel, like literally right behind them in some of them, just things like that. Or maybe the clip didn't work well. Just a bunch of little details. Oh, another one, one would pinch you when you do the front flipper. Like it would literally, I mean, pinch you bad. So little details like that. However, I still have a bunch of absolutely amazing, even though I had, you know, my complaints, that doesn't mean they didn't have some absolute amazing knives. Of course they did. So this is the Banjara, this is the Wyden, and then the Boa. Now the Boa has an amazing front flipping action that comes in 5 different options technically, because it had a mirror polished S90V blade with a Timascus full dress model, and then they also had a satin finished blade with the Timascus handle. Also, I believe in S90V. This guy, or you know, back to this one. This one obviously is the micarta one, but there was the black one. There was a jig bone pattern one. The black one had carbon fiber. Then there was the micarta one that we have here, and then a jig boned one. The whole deployment works very, very, very well. The thumb studs work also equally as well. This one has amazing ergonomics. I love a harpoon blade shape, and I love a harpoon spear point blade shape like this. This is one of my all-time favorite blade shapes, and the size, it just works. It's not a big knife, it's not a small knife, it's like a perfect size knife for EDC, and the clip works great. Like there's so many, it's not like the best clip in the world, but it does work well, and you know, they hit a lot of things out of the park. And what's crazy is that it was a 17-year-old that designed this, by the way. A 17-year-old designed this. I'm not sure if it was his first design or what, but that's awesome. Good for him. So shout out to him. This guy has an incredible detent for the reverse and flipper tab action. So I really liked it because of this whole deployment and the flipper tab deployment working so well, coupled with this handle that you know, like I always say, I'd rather go thin to thick than thick to thin in the handle. This does it very well from thin to thick, and this, it's like a glove. It just goes right in your hand. Then you have this blade shape that's going to be great for like skinning, cutting down on flat surfaces. Not the best for utility cuts, but You can trap materials because of the angle it has, and it's going to be great for self-defense. So a great self-defense slash EDC knife with, I should have said the materials on this one. This one's S35VN titanium, but like I said, there's a bunch of different versions, some in S90V. This is S90V, titanium frame lock, milled titanium pocket clip that works well. Look at this texturing in there. This is very sharp in a good way. Great access to the lock bar, heavy milling. And then the Widen has a little Timascus inlay right there. It looks pretty cool. I love a nice little shield on my knives. I have a few knives, not a ton, but I have a few that have a shield, and I always like that. It's a nice little touch. Beautiful micro milling all over this thing, and they did put the cutout for the lock bar on the inside, which I love to see. The front flipper, you would think you do it from up here, but you don't. It actually, that's the least satisfying way. You want to go right from the front right here, and that is what works well. So if you're gonna, you know, front flip it, what you have to, because that's the only action. It works the best going right from the front, not from the top. The top is a little bit slippery. I do wish it was a little bit bigger. The ergos are really good though. Love this blade shape. This one is S90V as well. Very nice sharp edge. This is almost a harpoon. I'm going to call it a harpoon drop point. It's a drop poon, but going to be great for utility cuts. Great for basically cutting in any direction, which I love. But because of the lock bar access and the clip is a little tight, and it's over this beautiful micro milling, I had to put this one to the side. So then it was between these two. And oh man, between these two, I'm gonna have to go with the BOA. The BOA was their best model of the year, and I'm only saying that because I love a harpoon spear point more than I love a trailing point. I love this trailing point, and I do love this knife. So I'll say if you love clip points, this is a great one. But this one, in my opinion, just happens to be better. So there you guys go. I do wish it had a little bit better lock bar access, but it's good enough to where it is very easy to disengage and very comfortable. Now, let's get to the next two. Now, the next two companies, they were too easy. It was too easy. KANSEPT. The KANSEPT Thoth, hands down, beat every single thing that came from KANSEPT in the past probably 5 years. This thing is absolutely a banger. It has a very thin, very broad, deep hollow grind. I mean, it's hard to see how thin this is. This is a mega slicer, and it has a little bit of like a modified sheep clip point blade, which I love. So it's going to be great for utility cuts. You have that little bit of belly for cutting down on a flat surface and plenty of flat so that you can slice. And the ergos are phenomenal on this reverse bolster lock. So instead of it's a reverse bolster lock. So instead of this handle material being down here and then the frame being exposed up here, it's the opposite, which I do like. And they've done a few models like that, and I've always loved them. The milled titanium pocket clip works great. Titanium finish and stonewash is slightly contoured and also nice and smooth. Then you have this watermelon, I think it's watermelon, fat carbon fiber with the pivot collar, which has a little pop to it. Great access to the liner lock. And the sound is amazing. Not sure if it'll come over the mic, but it has a great chink sound. Chink! It's not coming over the mic very well, I don't think, because it's not as loud as it could be, but it's still there. Thumb flick is good. Reverse flick's even better. And then, like I said, the ergos are just phenomenal. My biggest complaint on this guy, I wish the cutoff of the lock bar was on the inside, and then I wish that they did a better sharpening tool. I wish that this was just cut out a little bit deeper. It is 20 CEV blade steel, so you're going to get good edge retention as long as the heat treatment's done well. And this one is a good one for lefties if you don't mind a righty clip, because the clip option does not flip over to the other side. So this, like I said, hands down the best model from KANSEPT, probably overall. But yeah, great model. And who is the designer? Okay, so it's Sparrow Knives is the designer, which, you know, I need to get more of their models on this channel. Last, you guys already know this one because I just did a top 5. So if you want to see my top 5 favorite KIZER knives of 2024, check out that video. I have my top 5 in there, and woo, this is an amazing, amazing knife. And I also put, by the way, some honorable mentions in there as well. This is, I don't need to talk too much about it because I did that top 5. If you want to hear me go in depth about this knife, go and check out that full video. It is an awesome video, but we have a titanium frame lock. We have S45 VN blade steel. The Hawk head is a liner lock. So, you know, the liner is a steel liner. Perfect milled titanium pocket clip. This thing works great. It even goes over my really thick jeans. Copper backspacer, copper pivot collar, and then it's using a detent nub, which is completely different than a detent ball, making this have an incredibly crispy breaking detent. I mean, the action and sound is absolutely amazing. And you can hold really high up on the lock bar. As long as you push it in really deep, it'll get past that because of the way this detent is. It's nice and strong, man. Then the ergos are just super good. This blade shape is, you know, a hybrid blade shape. I'm going to call it a leaf shape. It just works, man. This tip is great for utility cuts, great for trapping materials. The reverse, you know, cutting backwards isn't going to be the best, but the utility cuts and, you know, basically the way you're going to mostly use this knife, you know, slicing and stuff, it's going to work very, very well. This is an incredible knife from KIZER. I'm so glad that KIZER did this one, because this one is, you know, in my opinion, their best model at the moment. Not sure about their best of all time. That is, you know, I'd have to really think about that, but possibly. There you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.